Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today we are still in the month of October, and I keep forgetting, but I will never forget it again, that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I just want to pay homage and remember the souls of those that we have lost due to breast cancer, and also shout out the survivors, those who are living or have had breast cancer and are using their affirmations to overcome and to be their best selves. And truly, they are my inspiration. I've spent some time, especially with one particular older lady. I used to work in a medical office, and one of the offices was a chemo office. And she gave me such inspiration and such love that it was just so great, to be in that presence. So to all of the survivors of breast cancer out there, see, I got on the pink. You see my little lady back here has the pink. I just want to say we salute you, we love you, and we are praying and affirming with you. And we're using your affirmations, which is our theme for today. Remove fear from the mind and body, because that is where any healing starts. Healing starts with our mind, our body, knowing that we can overcome, that we can be healed in every area that needs healing right here and right now. So we must never be scared to heal. We must never be scared to look at our body, to envision our body as this perfect expression of health and wholeness. So let's get right into it. Let's put our fists in the air and affirm with me, and we'll come back to this affirmation, but let's get it out of our systems first. Let's affirm with me. Fear is now removed from my mind. Fear is now removed from my body. Today I want you to remember to remove fear from your mind and your body to keep your health and your sanity. That is one of the greatest things two of the greatest things that I think that we all are striving for, to keep our health, to keep our sanity. It means then that we must dare to believe that health is possible. We are reminded of Mark chapter 5, verse 36, where Jesus said, "Do not be seized with alarm or struck with fear. Only keep believing." And he was doing this right before he raised a young girl from the dead. And it was so funny. This story is always interesting to me because when Jesus was, first of all, the girl was the daughter of a priest, right? And with all of his faith, he couldn't even believe. And here was Jesus with his belief. And here he was coming with this supernatural affirmation, this so far-fetched affirmation that someone that is dead, he said, no, she is just sleeping. And the first thing he did was told the people that jeered him, because when he said, no, we can heal her, we can raise her from the dead, they started to laugh at him. And he said, y'all gotta leave. Y'all have to leave and let us do our work. Only kept the family close to have this girl be raised from the dead. Friends, this is what we have to do sometimes. We have to get rid of the non-believers. We have to get rid of the people that tell us that this must happen, that must happen to our body because we're a certain age or of a certain sex or gender or, of a certain background. This is what our body must express. This is what we must live through. We can break those boundaries right now and overcome sickness. I believe that our mind is so strong in the power of God, in the power of this all-universal force, that we can say, you know what? Yes, I overcome sickness. I overcome cancer of any kind, breast cancer and any kind of cancer. I overcome headaches. I overcome virus. We have been going through that for the past, 2 years now, 3 years, going on 3 years probably. Right? We can overcome it. We can overcome disease. We can overcome aneurysms and clots. We can overcome it. Now, people hear this and they think, oh, these affirmations, these things that we're saying is just kind of spitting in the wind, right? It's cliche and corny and so far-fetched that it's will never happen, right? This is where we have to work our affirmations. This is where we have to say, you know what? Yes, it is possible for me to experience health. I dare to believe that I am health and perfect health. I dare to believe that my all universal force is filling every cell, every organ, every tissue, every muscle, every fiber, every organ action of my body with perfect health. And it's good practice when we get these things out of our mind. And yes, these things exist, but let us not give them any power. Let us not give them any energy in our lives. And when we do that to our body, it's good practice for the people that come into our lives that bring us negativity. Once we start with our body, claiming what we will accept, what we won't accept, and let it go, it's good practice for letting some people go in our world. But we get to the worry part, right? We hear the report from the doctor. We hear our parents had this, someone in the family had that, and it's passing down to us. And then we start to worry about it. One of my favorite quotes from Eckhart Tolle is, "Worry pretends to be necessary, but serves no useful purpose." I'll say that again, or just rewind it, right? Worry pretends to be necessary, but serves no useful purpose. Remember what you were worrying about 5 years ago? Right? It all worked itself out. You are good now. Remain in this goodness and know that whatever you are going through, whatever you are facing now, just as you have overcome before, you will overcome again and again and again. But remember that sometimes the body needs to expel certain things. And the greatest thing we can expel from our body, from our mind, is fear. But think about all the stuff we expel. You just think about snot, right? There's snot in our eyes, our nose, our mouth, even our ears. You know the different names for it, right? Sometimes we have to pass gas. Sometimes we have to go to the bathroom, whether it's number 1 or number 2. We sneeze, we cough. We have to cut our hair. We have to cut our nails. Something that we've all gone through. So it means that, yes, there are things in the body that naturally have to be expelled. Fear is no different. So let's release together. Let's put our fists in the air. Let's fight that fear out of our lives right here and right now. Let's say, I release and I let go of what I no longer need. I release, I let go of what I no longer need from my mind and my body. Friends, I want you to remember to heal from the scar and not the wound. So many people are just like when you have like someone that has a bullet wound, right? The wound is the actual the thing that happens to us, right? And then when we truly do our work in healing, when we truly do our work in overcoming, then it creates a scar. But there's so many people that are not working from the scar, working from the things that, we all have our experiences, we all have our hangups and things like that. Are you working from the pain or are you working from the healing? Today, I implore you, work from the healing. You can only get rid of, you can only overcome what you face. And so this morning, we have to forgive ourselves for the worry that we had. Was it worth it? Again, the thing that you were worrying about 5 years ago, was it worth the worry today? Was it worth the time and energy that it took to worry about those things? Face whatever you need to face. Forgive yourself for the past beliefs that sustain fear in your mind and body. We can all do this for ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves for those beliefs. We also have to forgive ourselves for believing what people said about our body. I remember, I think I was just started or just finishing high school. And a friend of mine decided that he wanted to become a model. So we went up to Washington, D.C. for this big model competition, right? And he said, come into the room with me. Now, I know I don't have the face of a model. I think so, but the rest of the world, doesn't always agree. So when he said, "Oh, come in the room with me," you just show them your face. And there were about 200 people there from every magazine and things like that. This was, again, back in like the early 2000s, right? And all of them rejected me. Some were so mean, so cruel, called me ugly, told me I had a face for radio. But the thing was, for me, I didn't care. When I look in the mirror, I see God. And there is no one out in this world that can tell me any different. But there was a time where I didn't always feel like that. And I implore you, if this is you, if you feel that, or if you've heard these words about your body, about your, I never understand, if this is God's body, right? So it is wonderful. It is beautiful. So if you have had these words thrown at your body, then you start looking at what's jiggling, what's too big, what's too small. Remember that it is still God's body. You are still an expression of this all universal force. And that is the best thing that you can ever do. We must also watch what we have said about others. Have we put down others because of their body, right? We must remember that that ugly is in the eye of the beholder. Just like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so is ugly. That is also in the eye of the beholder. But here's the thing about calling people ugly, or about receiving the word ugly, right? The language says more about the speaker than the target. If you can look at somebody, or if someone can look at you and call you ugly, it means that they have some ugliness in them. It means that they have some ugliness in them. So we must stop making fun of people, right? I always think, like, what are people supposed to do? People say, "Oh, he has big ears. Oh, he has a big nose. His arms are long. Looks like he's about to fly away," right? His feet are too big. He looks like row, row, row your boat, right? What are we supposed to do? Go to God and be like, "God, you made my arms a little bit long. Can you shorten them? You made my nose a little big. Can you give me the Michael Jackson, but natural?" Like, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to love the skin that we're in. We're supposed to love ourselves from head to toe. The one acceptable, I guess, criticism that people have is people who are overweight, right? People pretend to be concerned about their health. So they make comments about people who are overweight. Listen, everyone has the right to their own body. And everyone has their own right to their own body image and their own body projection. Leave people alone. Mind your own spiritual business, mind your own weight, mind your own diet, and let people do what they need to do in this world. In the meantime, you love your body. From the hair follicles that Jill Scott, I love that song by her. She talks about someone else loving her from her hair follicle to her toenail, but we're going to love ourselves from the hair follicles on the top of our head. I don't care if it's 3 strands. I don't care if you went to Rogaine, you put in Propecia. It does not matter. Just say, "I love my body from head to toe." Come on, fist in the air. Why don't you just touch your head, from your head all the way down. I love my body from head to toe. Just make sure when you get to your toes that you can get back up. But that's a whole other story. We're going to affirm that too, right? Yes, I love my body from head to toe. Friends, one point I want to give to you today: take a mental health day from work when needed. There are some jobs now, I remember back in the day, where you had to call the manager, right? Now most jobs allow you to text, so you don't have to practice your sick voice. What a blessing, right? What a blessing that we don't have to practice our sick voice. But take a mental health day whenever you need to take. That's why we all have personal days. And if your job doesn't have them, well, hopefully you can get a new job that cares about your mental health. And you don't have to say, "I'm taking a mental health day." You call in sick, you do whatever you got to do, but take the time to restore yourself. I saw a meme the other day that said, "Take care of you, because if you die today, your job will be posted before your obituary." They will post your job online before your family posts your obituary. So of course it's always good to do a good job and to give 100%, but we must also give 100% to us, to our work, to our body, to our healing. My best friend gave me a quote the other day that her mother always used to tell her. She said, "Don't be so busy making a living, you forget to live." Don't be so busy making a living that you forget to live. Reset your thinking to perfect health. Know that it is possible, but sometimes it takes a reset. And we all are doing this every day of our lives. I remember maybe 4 or 5 years ago at this point, I got a call that my mother had a stroke and she was in the hospital. And when I tell you I broke down, because that's all I heard. Your mother had a stroke, she's in the hospital. Now, mind you, I'm in Jersey, she's in New York. And I'm thinking, like, I couldn't even drive. I just started bawling and crying because it makes you think, especially when you're close to your parents, right? It makes you think about not only just losing a parent, but also your mortality, you know? And then she was in the hospital. Thank God that it was a mild stroke and she was only in there. And this was days after my birthday too. My birthday's next month, by the way. Yeah. This was days after my birthday, and it was just like I was on such a high from my birthday, and then just to come right down and to have this experience. And then my mother came out of the hospital. She had to go through therapy, and she, was doing what she had to do. And then my father ended up in a hospital. Now you have to understand that these are two people that, of course, I admired all my life and still do, but they have never been sick. I have never seen my parents in the hospital. I could count in my almost 40 years of living, right? I've only seen my parents collectively sick, maybe I want to say a handful of times, maybe 5 times, and that's between the both of them, right? Even when they're sick, they still have that energy to walk into that hospital and see my mother barely talking. And then a few weeks later, my father went into the hospital, and it took weeks to figure out what he had. Now, here's why I bring that point up. After those experiences, right, you think about your mortality, about losing your parents, it's very difficult, right? But there was something that internalized in me that started to think, oh my God, if my mother had a stroke, there's a propensity for me to have a stroke. If my father had whatever he had, I forgot, it's all these big words with all these syllables, right? If he had that, will I? Is it hereditary? Is it so, and we get so lost. For me, work had to be done on my idea of health. I had to and have to continually affirm for myself, my body is whole and perfect. There is no sickness, no disease, no virus, no stroke, no aneurysm, no clots. Instead of bringing that fear into my mind, letting it affect my body because my parents had it, because this is what they went through. Today, I had to do what I'm telling you to do today. I had to create an excellent vision for my health. As I'm praying for my mother, praying for my father, praying for all these different people as a minister, right? I have to keep myself up, and so do you. Remember to keep that vision for your health. Put your fist in the air, affirm with me, I have a great vision for my health. I have an excellent vision for my health. Henry David Thoreau said, it's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. Right? The doctor gives you the diagnosis. You got to affirm the prognosis. You got to work what is going to happen in your life. Yes, there are medical things that we have to go through, but listen, you work it in your life. Remember, your life is your self-portrait, and the only one painting it is you. You are the only one painting your self-portrait. I feel like it's just like me when I'm taking a selfie, right? Again, because so many people said I wasn't photogenic. So I take a selfie, this angle, that. Don't let me catch a sun ray. Oh, the best to take a picture, right? And I'm flashing away, portrait size, this way, landscape, all types until I get the right picture. This is us. This is our lives. Sometimes we have to take that picture, paint that portrait more than once in order to get it right. But we must remember to start from a place of peace. Removing fear from the mind and body has to start from a peaceful and a quiet place. I remember a nurse telling me that patients need patience, right? Her patients that she was taking care of, they need patience when it's time to heal. And that is why I always remember in the back of my mind, there is no yelling in the ICU. Have you ever seen, I've seen it in real life, families fighting in the ICU? Like knock down, drag out, pushing carts and knocking over medication and equipment and fighting over whatever they're fighting about, right? And what do the doctors do? They kick them out. Because in ICU, it has to be quiet. Because the person needs peace and quiet in order to heal. The same with every ailment in our body. The same with removing the fear from our mind. We have to do it from a quiet place. And we have to be patient with ourselves. Be patient with your healing. Be patient with your life. Be patient with your body. Be patient with your dreams. As you do, I know for sure that you will see, it will just burst forth into life. You will see how from that peace, you create something so great and so wonderful. Put your fist in the air, affirm with me, I am patient with my healing. I am patient with my dreams. I am patient with my life. I am patient with my body. Friends, the last point I want to leave with you today, just as we make decisions daily, right, what to eat. And that's always a big thing, especially when you work with people that like to order out around 10 o'clock, right, in the morning. You start thinking, what are we doing today? Pizza, Chinese, Korean, just as we make those decisions, we make a decision on what to wear, right? On if we're wearing a hat, if we're wearing blue, if we're wearing, whatever. Just we make those decisions. We also decide the body we want to exist in and the body we want to express through. Make the decision to remove fear and live in health. Make that decision today. Allow the health of this all universal force to fill every cell of your body. And as you do, first start with the peace and quiet, and then it will come through like a mighty storm. It will take your life over to where you know nothing about fear. You just know and work from a place of healing. Make that decision today, friends, and stick with it. Know that it is real. It is real. It is happening. It is you. So let's close our eyes. Let's do a quick meditation, and then we'll do a big, loud meditation. Fists in the air, standing up, rejoicing in God. But let us get still now. If you can, close your eyes. Focus on your body. Focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you let it out, just say peace. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Get all that fear, that doubt, that worry, everything that you've been thinking about, right? And let it out with your breath. And affirm silently, I have decided to remove fear from my mind. I remove fear from my nervous system. I remove fear from my circulatory system. I remove fear from my digestive system. I remove fear from my muscular system. Just feel these parts of your body, the nervous system, the circulatory system, right? Your blood that is flowing through your body, your digestive system. See that everything that you eat and drink agrees with you. There is no pain. There is wonderful movement. Our muscular system, there is no flabbiness, right? There is beautiful muscle. Our skeletal system, it is strong and beautiful. All of the systems of my body now are restored to wholeness and perfection. I have decided so, and it is real. Now open your eyes. Stand in your God power. Stand in your God power, fist in the air, and affirm, I have decided to remove fear from my mind. I have decided to remove fear from my nervous system. I have decided to remove fear from my circulatory system. I have decided to remove fear from my digestive system. I have decided to remove fear from my muscular system. I have decided to remove fear from my skeletal system. And even stronger, even louder, I am restored in my faith. I am restored in my faith that my body is perfect right here and right now. My body is perfect, no matter the aches, the pains, the moans, the groans. My body is perfect right here and right now. Friends, keep the perfection going. Move the fear out. And again, you're going to have to do it more than once because, again, all these people, even our thoughts, right? But we get these outside people telling us. We get these hereditary things telling us. The doctors telling us. But there is still a God in us. There is still this all-universal force that says, you know what? You don't have to succumb to that sickness. You don't have to succumb to that disease. You can remove fear from the mind and body and come into the spirit of perfect health every day, in every way, in every cell of your body. I love you. Be blessed.